music in the background of all my videos and just talk to you all, but that would be very distracting and copyright reasons and all that. Good chat. Anyways, what's up everybody? It's Lexi here coming to you all with another video. In this one, it's going to be another video in my life after college series talking about an identity crisis that you will most likely have once you graduate college. So if that sounds interesting to you, then keep watching and let's get started. So for those of you that don't know, it has been officially 3 years since I graduated college, and that's relevant to this video because I feel like more than anything this year, my identity has become a lot more apparent, and I've come to terms with it. When you're in college, when you're in school, chances are you're going to be a part of different organizations. You may be on a sports team. You of course have your major. So for instance with me, my job was I was a bus driver. My major was business information management. I was in the Black Student Union as treasurer. So I had all these different roles, all these different titles, all these different identities. And so once I graduated college, all of those things were stripped away from me. They didn't mean anything. I went into this role as a project manager, which I still am now, but it didn't really feel like it gave me kind of the same effect as having these different positions in school did. And so chances are you're probably gonna go through the same thing or something similar where you're gonna feel like, oh shit, who am I? If I don't have this, this, and this, like, who am I? Especially if you're one of the students who graduates and unfortunately you don't have a job right out of college. Then you get this question of, oh, so what are you up to nowadays? Or like, before you graduate, so what are you gonna do after graduation? It's not like you can just easily say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be this. And it becomes hard, I think, in general as a human being to not have something that you can identify with, because when you don't have something that you can identify with, when you don't have like a title to identify with, you don't really feel like you have a group that you can go with. All these different identities that I had in college, as a bus driver, there was other students who were bus drivers, and so we could all get together and talk about the coolness of it, but we could also talk about our woes of it and how much we did not care for certain passengers. When I was in my Black Student Union, we could talk about blackness and, you know, being black in America. When I was in my major, I had friends who were also in my major who understood what it was like to have to do computer science programming and how fucking hard it was sometimes. So having all these different identities made it feel like I belong somewhere. But when you graduate, there's no real place for you to actually feel like you belong, because you're also in this place where it's like, I'm not a student anymore, but I don't necessarily feel like an adult. I'm not a child, I'm not a teenager. What is that transition phase? Like, what is that in between student and adult? Because I don't quite feel like I'm there. Now that I'm in my third year post college, I definitely feel like a full-blown adult. I'm sure as I get 30 years old, I'm probably gonna say to myself, girl, you felt like you was an adult then? No, you are an adult now. So, but as of right now, the age of 25, I feel like I'm much more clear about where I am in life. I don't feel like it's as important to identify with things that are external to myself. Now, I'm still gonna identify with things such as like being a black woman or being a project manager and having all those groups, but I don't put as much weight on these titles as I used to when I was in college. And so in not necessarily attaching myself to these titles that I have now, I feel like it allows me to be more fluid. It allows me to do more things with myself. I mean, hey, I just finished up an improv class. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an improver, you know, but I have taken an improv class. And that's not something that I feel like is a title for me, but it's something that if other people are talking about improv, I could be able to join in the conversation a little bit. Y'all know, if you follow my videos, I love fitness. I guess I would be considered a fit person, you know, or someone who's really into fitness. And it's nice to be able to belong to these different identities, but again, I don't attach myself to them as I did in college. I feel like in college, some parts of me felt like having these identities made me worthy, made me feel like I belonged, and made me feel like, you know, I had a purpose. But really, we don't come into this world with titles, and we don't leave this world with titles. I'm not saying that titles aren't important, but I do think it's important to know that your value should not be wrapped up in a title. We're dealing with an identity crisis, and you're really in that period of like, I just don't know, like, I don't feel like an adult. I don't really know where I belong. Where is my sense of community? I would say to hold out. I know that's hard to take on. I think the very first thing you can do is breathe. The second thing you can do is find online communities that you can be a part of. A big community for me was the Unlost. I loved the author or the blogger, I want to say the owner of the unlost.com. Her name is Teresa Schrenkler, and her articles were really big for me. My articles on my blog can be really helpful to you. My blog is peaceanddeuces.com, but I would definitely advocate for first taking a breath, taking a moment, and then second, seeing if you can find online communities. A third tip I would have would be you're gonna have friends who recently graduated. Talk to them. I know these things can be hard to talk about, which is why I talk about these life after college topics, because I know it can be hard to talk about. But talk to your fellow graduates. Talk to somebody who graduated a year or two before you and ask them, how did they go through it? And you know what? Even just having someone there who understands what it's like to go through what you're going through without having to say it, without having to compare it to something, that alone will help you in your journey. And just know that through the times where it's just really rough for you, you're like, I just wish I knew who I was. I wish I could just get this figured out. With time, it will all come to you, and you will soon realize that it's not the titles who make your identity. You make your identity. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe for weekly videos. I also post on my blog, peaceanddeuces.com, and my blogging channel. I will leave links to those below, and I will see you all in my next video. Deuces.